All right, welcome in. Welcome back to the BFR Podcast presented by Sports Mockery. My name is Dave, joined by my good friend and co-host Ficky, Chicago Bears content creator. Of course, I cover the Bears for SM. And we are going to miss Jack today. He's got the flu, I think. So no flu game pod for him. He tried. He couldn't do it. He's not MJ. And we'll move forward, I guess. It's a tough one to miss for him, I'll be honest. We have our first last few weeks, maybe a month now. We'll be going over just the first round in general. We might do a mock in this show, but really going to be focused on the first 10 picks and where the Bears, obviously at number 10 and see what they're going to do. And we're going to do it a few times, have some fun with it. Before we hop into it, just like always, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I'll tell you what, I'm doing better than Jack right now. That's for sure. So I know the flu sucks, so hopefully he gets well soon. But yeah, I'm doing well. Draft season's literally 2 weeks away. This is the moment we've been waiting for. I kind of like these last 2 weeks, not only because we're getting closer to the draft, but more of the reports that come out tend to be a little bit more, they have a little bit more weight to them because there's a little bit more truth in them, or should I say the agents are feeding more accurate information to these insiders at this point. So that's nice to see. I know we'll talk about some of that information that's been leaked out, particularly with one player here coming up. But, we started to see traction with a player like Rome last year around this time. So it's exciting. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but it is kind of exciting to see, what are people thinking? Like, not just like, oh, we're just throwing, darts on the wall, trying to get as many mocks as possible, but like, really, how is this starting to come together? Where are teams starting to focus? What's their needs? Like, that's the prime part of the draft that I love. And then we have the draft, which you taking all those mocks, everything, everyone's like, yep, I'm good. And the best mock hits like 38% of the first round picks, which is like 12 picks, right? So no one really knows, but I think that's what makes it exciting. So I'm like I'm in a good mood. I just love draft season. But how are you doing? How's things with you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's about time. I feel like it's weird because I've been so used to having to worry about a quarterback. And so The draft has been so quarterback centric the last few years. Obviously Caleb and Justin debate last year, just acquiring Justin Fields to the draft, Mitch Trubisky. We just are always looking for a quarterback typically. So I don't know why, but I kind of miss it. But not that this is a great class to miss, honestly. And nothing against Ward or Sanders, which I actually like. I think I'm higher on Sanders than most. And we'll get to that later. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the draft. When it comes to Rome Odunze, I remember last year when there was talk. I just didn't want to get my hopes up. Right? I was like, it's possible. I just don't see it happening. With Genthy, I think it's worse. I don't. There's just no way he gets to 10. And I said that with Rome, but if I really had to, this one just feels like solid where he's just not getting past. I don't think he's getting past it. Obviously the Raiders potentially.
Really? I think that's it. No,
let's save that. Let's table that.
But I think it's anything is possible, but I do understand the idea of being cautiously optimistic, where it's not like anything is guaranteed. The only time we could feel that way was when you have the number one pick. Any team out there, the Titans can feel confident, and Titan fans about who they're going to select because no one can steal it from them. But even the Browns, right? And all these teams, Browns, Giants, teams can trade back, jump in front of you. So you just never know. So I think that's the part of the draft that is so fun. It's just you literally you think you have an idea, and then you see the Falcons draft Michael Penix at number 9. You know what I mean? Or number 8. And then now you can get Rome at 9. So that's the fun and exciting part. You have no idea what's going in these war rooms, how their boards are set, how players are selected, because there's always going to be a surprise in the top 10. Every year there's been at least one pick where you're like, that was interesting, right? Maybe not as crazy as like Michael Penix last year, but one where a team does something that people really weren't expecting. Now the top 4 picks, like last year, I think the top 5 all the way up to Joe Alt, everyone was like, yeah, it's going to go Caleb. It's going to go Jaden. It's then going to go Drake. It's then going to go Malik, right? I think it was Malik Neighbors and then Joe Alt. And that's what happened, right? It literally went, the projections 1 through 5, but 5 through 10 or 6 through 10 or even 6 through 15. That's where you had like Bo Nix go super early. Obviously, Michael Penix went super early. Even where Brock Bowers going to the Raiders, most people have going to the Jets. Like, there's a lot of storylines that happen that you're just like, oh, wow, did not expect that. And that's what's exciting about the draft. is saying what kind of chaos is bound to happen in the first round, because it happens all the time, every year. And GMs lose their job. It probably won't be as bad as like a Nico Collins type move. You know what I mean? Where you miss out on a Luka shipping him off. But I promise you, there's always a pick where you're just like, and then 4 years later, GM's gone. And you're like, that may have been the reason. We did that with Mitch.
I want it to be, we're not a basketball podcast, and thank God we're not for the most part. But if imagine being a Mavs podcaster or just a Mavs fan in general, it would be brutal. I don't think I could forgive him. It's like, imagine having Mahomes, and maybe that's too much, but Luka is generational. He's one of one almost. He's just so good. It just doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't forgive my team. I don't think I could be a fan of the team.
You can't. He dropped 45, 8, and 6 on him yesterday.
Like, imagine Caleb becomes great here, top 5 quarterback in the league, and in about 3 to 4 years, he gets you to the Super Bowl. You lose it, right? Because I think Mavs got to the finals.
Yeah, they went there. They lost.
Yep, imagine the following year after Caleb gets you to a Super Bowl.
And you're like, deuces.
You trade him.
Crazy.
And it'd be even worse for Bears fans, because we never had a franchise quarterback. Imagine trading the only franchise quarterback you got in 50, 60 years, maybe ever, depending. I know it's a different game. When Sid Luckman was throwing it around, and
the whole different game back then, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, plumbers and whatnot. But yeah,
thank God we're not a Mavs podcast. So.
Absolutely, I feel bad for them. That is it's a tough situation. Look, Bears have made their dumb trades before, like getting Mitch over Mahomes, even though most people had Mitch higher than Mahomes. Well, the mistake was Mitch over really. Oh my gosh, Achilles Watson. But look, we actually dodged a bullet there. We soon to find out. But at the moment, those first 4 years where he was balling, Mahomes was balling, and Mitch was not.
Yeah, but we never had him and then traded him. So it's like it still doesn't even equate.
That's way worse.
Greg Olsen. I mean, but again, Greg Olsen's not generational, but it's still a terrible trade.
That was
anyway.
Yeah.
A lot to get excited about.
Podcast. I feel bad for it. Yeah, we understand bad decisions for a team, so that's why it hurts. We definitely.
So a few things here I want to start before we get to some of the a couple things we want to get to. We want to get to the Bears are predicted to kind of make a splash in the first round. This one was actually by PFF, and then along with Ashton Genty gaining some steam as a Bears target. Before we get to those topics, and then of course our mock drafts, our live mock draft with you guys, we're going to talk about the Bears voluntary offseason program that started on Monday. We haven't had a pod since, and there's not a lot to talk about. I just wanted to kind of go over some thoughts on it with you, Ficky. So first of all, we had everybody basically was there. I'm pretty sure it was 100% attendance. And as far as like, this isn't like OTAs, that's next month, but you just love to see, obviously, first initial impressions, I guess, with Ben Johnson being there. They talked about, Caleb pointed out how, he's already testing the QB room. You love to hear that. So for me, generally, very, very positive. That's how it needs to be that way. Like, we can't be having shit hit the fan
already
on voluntary camp
or
off-season program, not even camp, off-season program. So you saw also we got a Torrey Taylor, little hype, little picture of him working out. He looks giant too. I mean, he's like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, 6'5".
Yeah, and then right after that was Santos, right, pulling a sleigh. He was
tiny.
He was pulling. Yeah, it just cracked me up. But Ficky, I want
that leg.
Your initial impressions from this week. I know it's limited, but I just want to see what you think.
So how I view voluntary OTAs is kind of like a binary system. It's not like it's great. It's either you pass or fail. Okay. Fail means that like there's some storyline that comes out. There's some injury that comes out. Someone's not there, right? You fail. Pass just means you have nothing bad to talk about. Because like you said, it's voluntary OTAs. It's not like anything crazy, right? It is a good start to the season, but it's not like I'm going to walk away and be like, oh, well, I feel so confident about this team. This team's going blah, blah, and blah. No, that's not what this is for. The good thing I will say is this, and kind of what is expected. This is like a first job interview, like for these players. This is their first introduction, like an actual formal introduction to their head coach and like how things are going to be run. So wouldn't you need to be there? Like if I had a new boss or a new manager and I want to put a good foot forward, you bet my butt's going to be, you know what I mean, in the office looking good and like making sure I'm on my P's and Q's. And it's not saying that if it was Flus back here again that we wouldn't have that, because I think in the past they actually have. We really haven't had many contract issues since Roquan. So, to say all that, I'm happy there's nothing to talk about. But in the end, it's like it's not much. It's good for like a fan experience. We can get hype and get excited. They're posting out some fire clips, like the Bears media squad has been getting better every year. So, that's good to see. But, this is like nothing big, in my opinion. I don't know how much I can hype it up.
No, I think it leads me to exactly what I want to talk about hype. And so, first of all, I agree. It is pass or fail. You want majority of your players to show up. I love that Jaylen Johnson was there. Obviously, Cole Kmet, a lot of your captains, Grady Jarrett. You just have all these guys that, first of all, first-year head coach, it's so important, right? If this was year three into Ben Johnson's regime and era, I guess, depending on things, you still like to see everyone there, but you could probably miss a couple. But it's just so important to get everyone on the same page. It's the first time they can really, truly come together. Ben Johnson said it himself. The first team meeting, what he got in front of everybody, said, this is going to be the longest one. It's going to be the longest one, the longest time I talk all year for the most part. And he said it went a little bit longer, but that's not going to be the case typically. And it's just because he's introducing I think Jaylen Johnson said it as well, talking about he laid out a roadmap of how we're going to do things, how it's going to be different than before last season, and just setting the standard, which is just so important because it was so damn low last year. So I hope you go ahead.
As I say, you're kind of nailing it perfectly. You know what it is? It's still, I think I said this now flashbacks. I think I said this a year ago. It's basically syllabus day. It's the first day of school. You come in, right? You don't walk away from your first day of school or your first week of school being like, wow, I learned so much about X subjects, right? It's more of like setting the expectation of how your semester is going to go and what we're going to, do during that time, right? What are the goals we're trying to obtain? What are your, homework? What's going to be your scheduling? How many tests you have, yada, yada, yada. We're laying out, like Jaylen Johnson said, the roadmap. And that's what it is. Ben Johnson has to come in here and say, this is how we define Chicago Bears football. Because if you look at all the great teams, they have something about them, right? Other than winning helps, but like there's something where you're like, oh, that's Eagles football. Oh, that's Kansas City football, right? There's aspects of it where that's their expectation, that's their barrier, that's their threshold, and they always achieve to be above that certain thing. So will it equate to wins? No, this is kind of what every team does, but it has to be done. So
yeah. Well, in Detroit, they, for the longest time, they did not have kind of like an MO, like Detroit football. It was more of like a laughing stock, kind of what the Bears have been the last 4 years. Detroit did not have that identity, and Ben Johnson helped, along with what the heck? Why is this head
Campbell?
Coach? Campbell, yeah, Dan Campbell. They created an identity for the first time in a while. I know Stafford and company they won a little bit, but for a while, like I said, they just didn't have. It was more of a joke, and so the last 4 years, Ben Johnson's been a part of rebuilding that team, and so he comes into Chicago, and I joke, but Caleb Williams is coming into probably the best scenario for a second-year quarterback. Are we going to do that? Are we going to do that this year?
I think it's fair,
but for real, it is. He's going to have such a better team, better coaching. And I think that's what we missed last year was the coaching was such a big factor in not in a good way. So, but I want to talk about
before you go to that, because I think this will cap off what you said perfectly. We talked about like accountability, and you heard players last year talking about how they'd let certain things slip in practice and even earlier in OTAs, right? They feel like even polls came out and was like, hey, we think some things probably weren't handled right and setting the expectation. That's what's important about these things is like, you are setting the level of like, this is how we practice, right? This is how we do things, because how you practice and handle your business there is how it's going to equate to on the field, which should lead to less mistakes, right? And you talked about Ben Johnson challenging Caleb, right? That's a big point. But he talked about when he got the role, he's challenging everybody. It's not going to be easy for anyone. So coming in and setting that expectation, particularly with your captains and your leaders, someone like Jaylen Johnson, who I know is so happy with Ben Johnson because he is a true competitor. That's going to trickle down when these rookies come in, right? They know the expectation now. This is what you do when you walk into Hallis Hall. This is how we do things around here. So it's hard to gauge that because we're not in the building, but that's the whole point of OTAs is just setting up how we're going to handle our business moving on. So, and hopefully it leads to like obviously better on-field production, which it
agree.
It should.
It better. Jaylen Johnson, though, I think this will be a good segue to end this one when it comes to the offseason training program for the Bears this week. Jaylen was asked about the hype surrounding Chicago. He's been around the team since 2020, came in with Cole Kmet. And I'm just going to play this clip. We'll react to it, and then we'll go on to this Blockbuster trade that PFF has predicted the Bears do. So before we get to that, let's listen to some Jaylen Johnson. I always love his sound bites. But this is from Tuesday press conference.
Are you the type of guy who gets fired up in April by any coach? I know the answer to this, but I'm asking anyway.
I've been through it too many times, man. I'm gonna get excited when we win in November, December, and we change some things and get to the playoffs. That's when I'll be excited. But right.
An extension of that, the next 5 months are going to be all about talk and hype and excitement and energy. How do you navigate that, knowing your mindset and not really being plugged into all that?
That don't got nothing to do with me. The only thing that has anything to do with me is the work that I put in, the work that we put in as a unit, and just taking steps in the right direction. Other than that, the talk, the hype, and all that, I mean, hype don't win you no games. So, I mean, I've been here a minute. I've been through the hype, and we don't win no games. So, I mean, for me, if it's not about winning, quite honestly, I don't really care about it.
Yeah. Are you the type of guy who gets?
He's not wrong.
Simple.
He's not wrong.
I love that from Jaylen. Hype don't win you no games. If it's not about winning, I don't care about it. And I think that's my MO as well. I think a lot of Bears fans, it's fun to be excited. It truly is. But at the same time,
got to win.
Yeah, you just got to win. And we just have not won, in years. 4-2 felt good last year, but then it was very quickly, it turned into, right back to
7 games. How many games we lose in a row? I tried to
9 games.
9
games. I think
the year before that, like 11 or something. We're 3-0 in the offseason, but we're like 7 in a bajillion in the regular season. So it does.
And don't get me wrong.
Right, it's all about
I think in the draft, when we get these players, when we're finished with the draft and we really get to look at the roster, I'll be excited. And then, of course, when training camp comes around, going to be very, very hyped. It's just right now, it's April. So it's like, man, let's actually have some meaningful games in November and December. I say that every year, but that's got to be the goal. And I just love Jaylen Johnson for this because Ben Johnson's great. And this kind of puts some pressure on him as well. Ben Johnson, like, it's cool to have all the hype, to get all the headlines. It's like, you got to turn this thing around. And I know it's on the players too, but I mean, he's supposed to be he's supposed to be a generational type coach. Honestly, I don't like to put that term on people, but he's had so much hype, no pun intended there, that he needs to win. And so
it's the same for him, right? The same with the players we view, like when we got Caleb and all this, it's like there's hype, but at the end of the day, you have to execute. So Ben Johnson, with due respect, deserves all of the hype he's been getting because of his credentials and his historical evidence, right? So it's not that it's unfair that the Bears and these players get the hype, but at the end of the day, you have to convert it or it's just a waste. You know what I mean? So like you got to win games. Nobody cares about it. At this point, it's fine. That's why the hype's in the offseason. But I tell you, if we start out 0-2, that starts to die quickly, right? So you have to produce. And we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We still have a lot of time. No one's, we're not putting expectations just yet. We still have a draft coming up, right? Yeah. We're expecting them to be better, but we'll have a full, more holistic understanding once we see all the guys that are in here, once we get closer to like week 1 of the NFL season. And honestly, might need a couple weeks. We have a whole new offensive line, which is good, but they got to mesh together.
Oh, don't you dare give me that.
No, they said it themselves, man. Even Ben Johnson.
Are you talking about like in the season?
I'm saying yes. Ben Johnson said that.
Please, God.
Ben Johnson said though it takes. No. I'm not saying we're losing. I'm saying we have a whole offensive line. They have to mesh together, right? The offensive line we talked about. is not they're not a one single person type of ordeal. They work as a unit, right? So it takes a couple of weeks. Ben Johnson said that when he revamped the Detroit offensive line like 3 years ago, right? It takes a little bit of time. They get together and then you're good to go. It doesn't mean you're losing games, but you got that. You have a new head coach still. We got to figure that out. All I'm saying is like we can be excited now, but there's still some variables and questions that are unanswered that it's going to take a little bit of time. Now, I'm not thinking we're going to go 0-4 in the first month. Yeah, that's like the worst case scenario, but there are going to be a little bit of hiccups along the way, and that's okay because in the end, this is the better long-term goal. So, but we'll see what happens. It's the NFL. Who knows?
So, off-season program was a check. It was a success. I'm looking forward to OTAs. I think it's next month, and find out who the Bears bring in, of course. So, with the draft, and we'll have our draft show here in a couple weeks. We'll be doing the entire first round, or not entire first round, at least up until the Bears pick, and maybe 15, 16, just depending on what the Chicago Bears do. And then we'll also we didn't do this last year, but we're doing a day 2 pod as well. So back-to-back days where we'll be just going live stream. You guys can join us. So also we're, I think, like 10 subs away from 8,000 subscribers. So if you guys can get that on this show, we already have a ton of giveaways to are on the way with draft season.
Oh yeah.
And the NFL draft
coming up.
But if you can help us get there, we appreciate it. Hit that like button as well. A lot of YouTubers or a lot of people watching the live stream as well. So we appreciate it. But let's move on to, before we do our live mock draft, the Bears were predicted to make a blockbuster splash in the first round. And this one is quite crazy. And we're going to get to all of our scenarios with this live mock draft. But Pro Football Focus, they put an article where they believe the Bears will pull off a move in the first round by trading up to number 2 overall. This is crazy. With the Cleveland Browns to select Penn State pass rusher Abdul Carter. Trade terms were Bears receive pick number 2, Browns receive picks number 10, 39, 148, and a 2026 first round pick. The Bears, and this is what they had to say. And I will say this, PFF, they've had a track record of getting some blockbuster, not just draft day trades, but just trades in general. So, and I forgot who wrote this one. I'll get it here in a minute, but let me finish what the article said here. The Bears evidently believe the roster can win now and have been aggressive to maximize that opportunity. What's more aggressive than jumping into the top 3 to grab the best pass rusher in the class? Deo Adebingo.
Yeah. Deo Adebingo. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. Is a solid veteran sign, but Carter's 93 overall PFF pass rush grade on the true pass sets would raise Chicago's defense into the upper echelon and is well worth the price needed to acquire him. That right there, that last sentence is something I disagree with. And so for me, I wanted to react on this one, Ficky, before I hand over to you. But this is horrible. I like Abdul Carter. I like him a lot.
Not for
the Bears are in a win now mode. However, it's not like a win a Super Bowl. It's more of like, let's just win some freaking games. And so for me to give up that capital for a guy that hasn't played an NFL snap, and I like him he's number 1 edge rusher for a reason. But golly, I hate the idea of just giving that much capital. And for a player like Abdul Carter, I'm going to keep saying it. For me, it's a hard no. Easy no. I don't know what's that saying there? Just absolutely not to this type of.
I agree with you. All of them, hard no, easy no. It is. Look, giving up a first next year is what kind of does it. We 10 to 10, like, let's be real, 10-2 is like expensive as hell. That's close to what the Panthers did to get up. Now there's the quarterback tax, but 11-1, like you are giving up a lot. Now, if you're saying like 10-6, I'm like, okay, we could probably just give up probably a second, right? One of our seconds, maybe a third next year, something like that. And I'm fine. But to give up a next year first already, just starting with that, and that's what the value is. So I'm not saying that's an incorrect evaluation, but no, I'm just not. I think we're set up in a very good position where we have 4 picks within the top 100. We have 10, 39, 41, and 72. We can get 4 solid contributors there. I don't think it's not worth the risk about the valuation to lose 2 more scratch offs on those lottery tickets to then just put it all in one basket for Abdul Carter. Do I think Abdul Carter is probably going to be worth it? Typically, defensive end prospects that are that high, do they turn out well? Most of them do. Like the DE1s typically do. But you know who also was a prospect that good? and I'm not forecasting that Abdul's going to be like this, but he came out one of the, expected to go. Actually, it may have went number 1. I think he went number 2, right? Montez's old player, teammate, Chase Young. Now, if you look at Chase Young's career, you would say he did not live up to that pick. So imagine you trade up for Chase Young, who was actually when you're looking at prospect wise, he was a bigger prospect than Abdul Carter. Like this dude, people were talking about Chase Young for years, especially when he was a freshman at Ohio State, and that didn't turn out well. So it's not that Chase Young can't deliver. He brings value. He's not a bad player. But imagine trading up and you have a Chase Young career. We would then walk back and say that was not worth it. You could have got that type of production from someone in the second round, right? So that's the risk that you would have to be willing to take. And I don't think, like you said, we're in a position right now where we can make that trade. I don't like if we somehow had the 10th pick from a trade like the Panthers ordeal, and we were in the playoffs last year. So, we had picked 10, but really our winning record would have had us at like 25 or something. Then I'm like, whatever, it's free. That's free money at that point. It wasn't even supposed to be your pick. Go ahead and trade up. But in the situation we're at now, nah. So I agree with you on all the no's, all the variations of no's. You said I'm out, as they would say at Shark Tank. No, thank you.
Yeah. He also has some injury concerns too. I mean, they just got back, I think, his medicals today. Adam Schefter reported where he should be fine, good, ready to go for the season. And he said, I think he said it shouldn't scare any teams away. However, it's just there. Like
he doesn't need surgery.
Is in the background where you just don't know when it comes. You always get a little concerned. Now, I think he's probably the number one. I think he's like number 1 overall as far as talent in this draft, right?
He's fair. He's fair to go 2, but that's like if we're at 2, I'm like, okay, then we could take him.
Yeah,
but we're at 10.
If we had kept Matt Eberflus, I think we would be in the ballpark of actually keeping.
Yeah, probably.
We probably have to trade up to get him. We would have been 3rd year in a row to get the number 1 pick, honestly, if we would have kept Flus. So, but let's see here. He ranked number 1 in the FBS in tackles for loss, 23.5. Number 2 in pressures with 66. Number 7 in sacks at 12.5. I mean, he's explosive. Anyways, he's very polished. But hell no player. To that.
Great player.
And I hope that does not come to fruition. I don't think Poles is like that either. I don't think he has
not traded up that much. Now, Poles has traded up about as much as he's traded back, but he hasn't. All the shifting has been either in the second round, and any trades in the first round, it's been like 1 pick. Or because Darnell Wright was from 9 to 10, or it was the Blockbuster trade from 1 to 11 or whatever it was for the Panthers, 8. I can't remember at this point, but that was different. That wasn't on draft day. That was before. So to say all that, is he willing to trade? Yes, but that in the first, that doesn't sound like Poles.
This right here is perfect. This sums it up. Mr. James on YouTube, he goes, that is a Ryan Pace trade. Absolutely. Well said. That is the comment of the day. I love that one. So real quick, we have a super chat from Tito, our guy Tito. He goes, my dudes, can't wait for the Zoom call. And if you are wondering what he's talking about, the Zoom call, it is our Patreon schedule that Ficky released, I think, a couple days ago. When is it, Fick?
It's this Saturday. Yeah, it's this
Saturday. This Saturday.
You got a chance if you join our Patreon, which is the BFR Den on Patreon, our Hall of Fame tier, $10.
I know it says Zoom call, but it's more of we're just talking ball.
Yeah,
it's just guys talking ball. So, and we 20, 30 minutes typically. Yeah. So. But Tito, thank you again for the $5. He goes, what y'all thinking about the draft? Personally, I'd rather have Loveland than Warren. Dude's a more pure tight end. We're going to get into that here in just a couple of minutes in regards to all these draft prospects. Yes, that's what I'm excited about. That's why I'm upset that Jack's not here. So stay tuned, Tito.
His opinions on, I wouldn't know who. Yeah. I think that I do want to bring this comment up to start the show, but I think Alex brought it up here. The OG said, maybe you guys can decide on a pick now because it was talking about Jack being out.
Yeah, so, it is going to be much easier.
Yeah, so.
It is going to be fun. Well, convincing 3 people is not as – it's a lot more difficult than 2. So
for sure.
Thank you, Tito, for the $5. Again, if you are here listening live, if you can hit that sub button, hit that like button. We are so close, just a couple subscribers away from 8K. I know a lot of people watch and are not subscribed. I know a lot of people are as well. We would just appreciate it. So, Fick,
before we get into
anything else you want to do?
Let's do the ad read.
Into it? All right, let's knock it out again. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. So if you aren't aware, we actually dropped some new merch. So it's fire. I'm working on new graphics for us, but we have these new hoodies, which are fire. Some people have already bought them. They look great. We have a new shirt that's out. We have a new hat. And now we have mugs. I heard some people, a lot of coffee drinkers. We do our shows on our Zoom calls on Saturday. We're drinking coffee in the morning. So like we now have a BFR mug as well and some new stickers. If you want that, all you have to do is go to the BFRstore.com. It is live right now. And we have all that merch. It's not shown here. I'll update these images moving forward. But a lot of great new stuff that we dropped to get you guys ready for the new era, the new Ben Johnson era. And we're super excited about that. I've already bought me some merch, so it's going to be on its way soon. So it's definitely excited about that. So if you want to support us there, you just want to rock some fire gear, go ahead and go to the store. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Fick, I hate to do that to you. Let me just go ahead and present this because I know you don't have we're going to get that graphic updated, but just so we can actually get it out here, let me see if I can.
Heck yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. So
here's this is what Fick is talking about.
Yeah. So this one, I love the hoodie. It says like Chicago and it's got like a world globe on the back. And then it has some like in those lines, details like of like the BFR podcast, which I think is so cool. And then also, because this is the BFR podcast. We're the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. We had to give you a Chicago Gridiron tee that literally says for the fans, by the fans. And it says Chicago Gridiron on the front. And then as you can see, we got some new stickers, our new BFR Bear logo, which is cool, on the mug as well. And our new dad hat with the BFR logo on it as well. So if you want to rock some of this new stuff, I'm so excited for this new merch, and you want to rep it for our draft show that's coming up, just go to the BFRstore.com. We do ship internationally as well. I know we have people on here all over the world. So if you want to do that, go ahead. We do appreciate all of the support and the funds that comes with that. It just goes back into the show. So we really do appreciate that. And speaking of going back into the show, we have a major giveaway announcement that's going to happen. The biggest giveaway we've ever done, like $300 worth of value that's going to happen on the week of the draft. And it's thanks to you guys. So we're definitely giving back to you. So stay tuned. It's going to be super fun, super interactive. And it's like awesome. I'm so excited for it. But speaking of Tito's talking about the Zoom call, and we kind of talked about it, but if you want to be a part of that, you can join our Patreon. Again, that's the BFR Den on Patreon. I love you guys in there. We have like our private Discord in there. We have monthly giveaways, our private Zoom call, which Dave and I talked about, mailbag episodes, and we're working on some other great stuff as well. Also, if you are a Patreon member, you got access, and you still have access to the new merch, but it's specialized for just our Patreon members. So they get a specialized patch that only they can get on it, and it's fire. So I'm going to get me one of those as well because it's dope. So if you want to be a part of that community, that ongoing community, go to the Patreon. And there's 2 tiers. Well, there's 3 tiers. You can do a free tier just to kind of see our shows and what's going on. We drop the schedule. We have a $3 a month tier called the Rookley Grizzlies. That gives you access to almost everything but the private Zoom call. And then we have our Hall of Fame Grizzly tier, which is the $10 a month. And you get a private Zoom call every month where it's me, Dave, Jack, a bunch of the guys, the OGs in there. And we literally just talk Bears, we talk life, we talk every meeting is different. One meeting we're talking about WWE, the other one we're talking about like passion projects. So it's just a fun time to get to know everybody. And so if you want to join, please go to the Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And then also if you join, you get a shout out. So shout out to our Hall of Fame Patreon members. We have Michael from across the pond, Gage, Phil, and we got Michael as well, Michael 2, Michael Barry. And then for our rookie Grizzlies, we have Alex, who's already in here. Funny comments. Brian, Chris, Jason, and Eston. Shout out to y'all. We really do appreciate all the support. And again, all that money goes back into the show. But if you don't, strapped in cash, you don't want to have to do it fiscally. You don't have to. There's only one thing we only ask from you guys. It's just like and subscribe. That's it. We're really close to 8,000 subscribers. That's huge. And just like, subscribes, commenting, that helps get this show out into the algorithm to get it to more people like you so we can keep building this community. Because the more people we have in here, like-minded fans like Dave and I, the better we're going to make this and the more we can improve the show more and more. Because at the end of the day, we are building the show as if what we'd want if we were fans. And so we're definitely trying to put you guys first, keep you fan-centric here, fan-focused. And so the more people we can get in here, the faster we can get to that end goal that we're trying to get. So again, like and subscribe. That's all we ask. If you want to support the BFR store, you can do that. If you want to join the Patreon just in time for the Zoom call, you can do that as well. Giveaways in there as well. So appreciate all the love and support so far. Like and subscribe. And if not, just comment. We love all the comments And that's it. Let's get ready for the mock draft. Anything for you, Dave?
No, I think that's perfectly well said. I'm excited about the giveaway. A lot of giveaways coming with everything along those lines. So the sport's been unreal. I know it's the off season. It's the middle of April, and we're still talking Bears, so we love it. Appreciate y'all and the support. I'm excited about this mock draft here. So, and we just got a few more subs, so you guys are killing it already. So thank you again.
Thank you.
PFF mock draft simulator. Let's pull it up here. Hold on. Let me change it here. All right, Fick. So how this works is what we're going to do. Let me go ahead and pull it up. All right. And
I'm a little nervous.
A little bright on me. You're a little nervous?
I'm a little nervous, man. It's a lot of pressure. I don't know how these guys do this, but
oh man, I'm blinded by this. Hold on here. Good Lord. I wish PFF had a dark mode.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they do.
I'll make sure to hit him up and put it in, let him know.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Let's
here?
get a dark mode.
What's all of this? This is 2025. I'm getting blinded by this. Let me make sure you guys can at least see it. Hold on.
There we go. That's a good spot.
Oh, not as bright. Okay.
Yep.
So what we're going to do here, we're going to do the first 10 picks. And now if you are listening, I know we have a lot of Apple, Spotify listeners here. If you were going to listen to or watch a pod, this is probably the one on YouTube. It's just going to be a little bit easier to follow. However, we will do our best for you to kind of, I guess, talk out what we're doing and what the scenarios look like. So for the first time, me and Fick talked about this, preparing for the show. We are going to go ahead and do the first 10 picks. However, for this first mock, we're going to do every pick as if we're the team. That way we can kind of have an idea of what's going to go first. We just want it to be accurate. So for the first one that we do, then we're going to do probably one or two more where it's just going to be random. And we'll probably get into the second, third round as well. But we're really going to focus on pick number 10 here for the last, 20, 25 minutes of the show. Now, if you guys want, if you're on YouTube, again, live right now, help us out. Throw some comments who you want. We're going to be looking at comments. And how it works for us to decide on who we're going to pick. Me and Fick are going to debate. We're going to go in the comments and see, kind of do a live poll as well and see what you guys are feeling as in the chat. And I hope that makes sense. But that's pretty much what we're going to do here. So we have, first of all, PFF is pretty good when it comes to public. This is what we're going to have our advanced settings on. Randomness, again, for this first one, there's not going to be a lot of randomness in the first 10 because we're going to be in control of all of these teams. So we're going to do the first 10 here. And then we will be good to go. And I guess it doesn't really matter about the speed. Nope. So, okay.
Let's do it. All right. I don't think we need to waste too much. Oh, yeah, you're good.
Should I make it a little bit bigger here?
Yeah, maybe just that's fine. Let's make it just a little bit. Yeah, that's
again,
fine.
You guys, I can do the whole thing.
Ooh, that might be too small. That might be too small. Go a little bit up. There you go. I'm cool with that.
All right.
Appreciate it. All right.
I'm getting blinded.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Bear with us here. All right. As Dave is just a glow. It looks like he's looking into the abyss or staring at the sun. But,
hey, there we go.
That works. That's good.
That's good. Thinking on the fly.
I need you to see the players. You know who you're picking.
Hey, this is much better. Okay, I like this. Okay, so
let's not waste number one though. I think that's fair. It's Cam Ward. Every report says Cam Ward. They didn't even meet with Shador. It's Cam Ward. Cam Ward. No question.
I agree here. Anybody in the comments? What are they saying in the comments, Fick? I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna.
Yeah, I don't see.
Kind of feel the same
for this one. I don't think so.
And this one is going to be more of just us anyway. So, but again, we are going to take you guys in consideration here. But I think this one's pretty easy. I guess I'll go to QB. Number 1, Cam Ward. 2, Tennessee, which I like Cam. Again, I'm glad we got Caleb last year. So
if you're the Titans, though, like that's what you have to do. Like Cam is good enough to take a risk on. And if you don't have a quarterback, it's so hard to get the number 1 pick, which we've talked about, right? It's so hard to stumble upon it. So when you have it, you have to take the opportunity and go quarterback. So I'm okay with that decision. Because if we were in that boat, like if we were literally there and we didn't have Caleb, we would be doing Cam Ward. So
yeah. Well, I mean, their biggest need is quarterback too. You got to get it right here.
They had Mayo Levis. Of course they have to. You can't
Meme.
Yeah, for sure. You
Meme
can't
star.
deal with another season of Lewis. Well, I can't remember his first name. I'm stumbling on. I'm trying to delete him, but all right, Cam Ward out number 1 though. I'm cool with that. Yep. This is where the draft starts.
I know, I want to say here, if I am Cleveland personally, the biggest thing, I know they have a lot of needs, right? Wide receiver, cornerback, tackle. They just have some prevalent needs. But for me, this is where I think I'm higher on Sanders, and not just because Cleveland just needs a quarterback. Simple as that. They need a guy on a rookie deal. Sanders, I know he's not elite in a lot of different areas, right? He's just above average good in a lot of different things, right? He's not the most athletic. He's got a good arm. It's not great. We all know and kind of understand what Sanders is, but the biggest thing for an NFL team is a rookie quarterback on that rookie contract. Look at us now, year 2. You cannot waste any time. So Cleveland, if they go Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, it's like, what are they going to really be able to accomplish without a quarterback, right? Unless they stick with Watson, he somehow goes back to like Houston type, ways.
He injured his Achilles again, so I don't know if he can play. So
that's true. Yeah, so he might be out the whole season. I forgot about that. So for me, I just hope, and this is again, you're hoping the Bears, you hope as many quarterbacks go in the first 10 or first 9 picks, because that is just going to push everyone down the board. But for me, if I was Cleveland, I would go Sanders and take that risk. I don't think they will. I think they're probably going to go Abdul Carter. It's a lot of smoke. A lot of people are, eyeing that. I've also heard Travis Hunter, but
heard a lot of Travis recently.
Yeah, I love Travis Hunter.
This one's the hardest decision, because I agree with literally everything you said. Mm-hmm. I'm taking a risk on. It's not like people aren't like super excited with Shedeur because he's not like as athletic as Cam, right? But he's pretty accurate. Like he's
not as big as Cam either.
True.
Oh, I thought Cam Newton.
Oh, sorry, no, not Cam Newton. Cam Newton's a freak. That dude's like 6'6". No, Cam Ward. But he was very accurate last year in the FBS, like one of the highest accurate quarterbacks in college football. So, and he's really good with decision making, quick with his decisions. Yeah. Now he does take a lot of sacks. Like there's flaws and things like that. But if you're the Browns, you need a QB. Like unless you're trading back to maybe get Sanders later, like can you go another season without a quarterback? Like when your team is aging, like, yeah, you just re-signed Myles Garrett, but he's not getting any younger. You know what I mean? This team needs someone.
Well, you cannot do anything in this league without a quarterback. And I'm not saying Sanders could be a miss, right? But you just have to take that shot. Like if you're going to miss, quarterback is, you're going to miss a lot in the draft. But for me, it's like you have to take a quarterback. If I was the GM, I'd probably take quarterback here unless you have ultimate patience that you're going to be here next year. Job security, and then you maybe wait for the 2026 QB class, which is going to be better, at least at the top. You'd think. Obviously, still have to play the college season. But
anybody trade up?
No, I don't think anybody's trading up. All I hear is everyone wants to trade back, and I just don't see anybody. If they trade up, no, I don't think anybody's trading up. I just don't think anybody's going to trade up for these guys.
This is honestly
if they're trying to secure a player, right? From 5 to 4, vice versa, 19 to 18. I just those type of moves potentially. I think Hunter. I see a comment here on YouTube. I think they go Travis Hunter ultimately.
There's a lot of Carter too. Yeah, everyone's thinking Carter or Hunter. I think you need to go QB, but I don't think that's what they're going to do, like you said. No.
And we're trying to be realistic here, and that's where the wind is kind of blowing here. So I would go for my pick.
Who are you thinking, Hunter or Carter?
I think they go Travis Hunter.
I'm going to go. Schefter said that's the most recent one, so I'm probably going to go with that. But if they go Carter, I'm not surprised. You'd have the best defensive line.
I just think he's a superstar. And I think Abdul as well. But
yeah, let's do it.
I think just Travis Hunter is just like, he's just so good. He's just a one-of-one talent, right? Play a wide receiver, play cornerback at a high level. Are we going Travis Hunter?
Yeah, he's number one on the board for a reason. So I think it's got to be, because basically what 2 is like whoever. Oh, you know what though? So this is going to be either Carter or Shedeur, but does Shedeur go this high? Do you feel confident in the stopgap players, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, not to win or like that's the future, but do you feel like it did enough for them to pass on
yes.
quarterback?
I think it shows how they feel about this class, that they're not, I mean, unless Sanders drops a lot, because where does New York pick?
Giants again?
Picks.
Yeah, they'd probably be 35, right?
Yeah, so we can look here. So they have
34. Yeah, that's what I meant.
34. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's dropping that far, but if he slides to the late round,
they could trade up. Yeah, that's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. If he slides if he's available in the 20s, maybe they make that move. However, I just don't think I don't think they're eyeing Sanders right now. That's just my.
If that's the case, then I think this is where Carter goes.
Yeah.
There's no way Abdul's falling
if he slips. I think they would love to take Hunter, but I think Cleveland does take him.
I think whoever Cleveland takes, they're taking the opposite. So if Cleveland goes Travis, Giants are going
consolation.
Carter. If they go Carter, they're going to go.
However,
they go Travis.
I know a lot of pressure here, but 3 overall would be crazy.
That would be super high.
Maybe they have the remorse.
It could happen. That would be wild.
All the stories.
Wild. Yeah,
they thought they took Barkley high.
Right.
Because Barkley was picked 5th?
Yeah, 5 or 6. Something like that.
Yeah.
Someone even higher.
Yeah, I would say Abdul though. Were you good with that?
Yeah. I'm cool with that. All right.
Okay.
There's 2 people I think they're taking in this place. And I'd love to know your thoughts. Either Will Campbell, because they had one of the worst offensive lines last year. The left side of their offensive line needs help. Okay. Whether you play them at tackle or guard, doesn't matter. They need help in both positions. Or you're going, I think the actual best player left on the board, Mason Graham, interior line. They could use that. He's a wrecker. They could use him on their defensive line as well. So, but I'm open to other suggestions. Who do you think they will go here?
So I think there is a lot of potential for them to go Will Campbell.
Or Membu too. Sorry, they could do any offensive line. Basically, I'm going trenches.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think Will Campbell probably goes 4 potentially to New England. That's my guess. I think he's just too good. I hope he doesn't.
I'm cool with that.
It's hard to knock out the bias here. And that's why we're doing this one first. We're trying to do a quick, just realistic, and then we'll do a couple random automized PFF, and then we'll go from there and see who we get a couple times in a row. So anyways, Will Campbell, who do you think you said?
I said it was either Will or Mason Graham. But I think I'm thinking what I've seen more of the reports have been probably shading more to Will. And why I say Will over Membu, Membu's probably going to Membu's going to play right tackle. I think they need help on the left side of their line, and they need help from guard and tackle. So wherever you pick, like Will, he can play either or. Or if he can't play tackle, for sure, probably put him at center, right? But my point is that like the versatility helps for a team that has a lot of holes on that offensive line, and
I'll go Will Campbell
quarterback. So
that would be my ultimate pick here for them. I don't want him to go. I just don't want him to go there. But
I know you're a big fan. You're a big fan. I mean, I like him too, but
I think he's going to be so good. Jacksonville, they need a lot of help.
They do. Could you imagine with Brian Thomas having T-Mac right there? Ted, that would be more of a luxury pick, maybe that high.
At 5?
He could, though. He could. But I think if it's not Ted, I think it's Mason Graham. I do not think Mason Graham makes it past the 5th. No matter what order, doesn't matter. Mason Graham's not falling past 5. And if he does, I'd want the Bears to trade up. Because then you wouldn't have to trade up that far. If he's like 6, 4 picks, that's like a 3rd rounder, 2nd rounder. Give up 41, go get Mason Graham. Boom. Defensive line's pretty set.
Yeah, I would think it's Tet potentially, but I would go Graham here. Are we in agreement?
Yeah, I can do that. Either of those I'd be cool with. All right, this is going smoother. This is going smoother than what I thought.
It's going well, man. Raiders. And this is where I think Ashton Genty is
if it's not here,
the most.
It's us.
Yeah.
But the thing is would someone like Pete Carroll want Ashton Genty on his team? Absolutely. Right? 100%. Go get your running back. The Seahawks were known for being run dominant. It would make sense. Mm-hmm. But Albert Breer talked about it. Lily, I think today, he was on a podcast of some sort. You know, they're everywhere. But he was saying, he was like, hey, pump the brakes. I don't think the Raiders are in a position to have that type of luxury pick. Now, it doesn't mean they won't, right? GMs make moves like that all the time. But he's basically saying, hey, you have a lot more holes to fill that taking a running back high, though it would be a good player, it probably won't equate to the wins you need. You know what I mean? Like, that's more of a luxury. That's like us we talked about it with too bad Jackson on here, but with the Tyler Warren pick for us. And he's like, we talked about that's not a necessarily a need. Would it improve this team? Yes, but we have more holes to fill, so we'd probably want to go elsewhere. I feel the same way with the Raiders here at the running back position, but I would love to know your thoughts.
I can see it. I still think they take the weapon that is Genty. I don't think he's going past Oakland. Hey,
that's fine. I'll let
Vegas. I would go Genty, but who would you, if you outside of Genty, who do you think they'd pick here?
Probably
I could even see Warren a little bit.
Membu could go here.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Warren, because they have.
Yeah, because they have Brock. Yeah, they have Brock.
Maybe they want both, man.
No, I would say what I've seen is basically either Genty, that's been like one of the higher ones, and then tackles. So I've seen like if Will Campbell's fallen this far, Raiders have taken the Will Campbell, and then if not, they've taken Membu. So I feel it's either running back, it's either Genty or tackle.
I would go Genty. We just have to be realistic. That's what we're trying to do here.
Let's do it. That's fine.
So
we can do it.
Now we got our Justin Fields. Let's get Justin Fields some help. I like Justin in New York.
We're probably
also timeout.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. I cannot stand it. Bothers me so much at how some Bears fans, and even just media in general, but a lot of Bears fans on my feed, he said something about rhetorical, and he probably meant to say hypothetical, but like people calling him or insinuating that he's stupid or dumb. I'm
messed up. It's a word, dude.
What the
I say wrong words on here all the time. It's just one word.
Bothers. I haven't tweeted because I'm like, he's not on our team anymore. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Wish him the best. But it just bothers me. Like, I just feel like there's so much hatred. Like, I'm like, why do they like care so much about a guy that's not even on the team anymore? But
I think that's the thing that's interesting for me is both sides, the super, super love and the super, super hate.
I just wish him the best, but
yeah, that's it. I wish him the best, but once you're off the team, I'm kind of like,
though, because like there's prominent media members, some Bears content creators as well, that just like you never messed up on a word, like you never accidentally said something that you meant the other way. Yeah, I'm like, come on here, like he's just getting asked a question on the spot. And rhetorical, I know it didn't really fit perfectly, but I think we all kind of know what he meant. But that just bothered me. So, but anyways, back to the draft. Justin Fields, I think he needs some help here. Of course, you have the Detroit head coach now, or what is his name?
Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn, man.
Yeah, the defensive coordinator. Yeah.
Yep. So I think there's some defensive tendencies there, but I mean, there's a need.
They need a tackle,
QB.
bro. Yeah, QB for sure. I mean, you're not
has Sanders gone yet?
No. You're not taking Sanders this early.
And that's where
the Jets. I don't think the Jets would.
No. So anyways.
So again, this is kind of like if you went T-Mac, that's more of a luxury pick. Would he help the team out? Yes, but they need dire help at the offensive line. I think they're going to take. Yeah, I think they're taking a tackle, bro. If Will's there, they're taking Will. If Membu's there, they're taking Membu.
Yeah, I can see Warren.
I was gonna say another one. I was about to say is Warren. They could go Warren.
I think with what Justin with I think they're gonna keep Justin. Maybe bring in competition, but you got to secure that offensive line, man. It starts in the trenches. We hear about
problems for years. For like the 3 years they've had, for sure.
And what he had to go through. So I think it's Membu for sure. Are we cool with that?
Yeah.
Carolina. Very interesting that they do not have quarterback as a need because Bryce Young did play well to finish the year.
He did. You can't give up on him yet, but that is
wide
good.
Receiver though.
I'm glad to see that. I don't it is definitely plausible, but why I'm going away
Leggett
from
last
that?
year.
Leggett last year. Yep. He had a okay year. Rookie year, I'm not like, who knows how he'll turn out, but I will say this. The GM was like, asked something, or like maybe it was during the combine or something, and they were trying to get an answer out of him, and he wouldn't give an answer. And then finally he's like, yeah, we have to focus on the defense. I mean, look, does it mean they're going to pick defense? No. But as you can see here, edge, defensive back, those are big needs for them. I don't know if you go wide receiver. I don't know if you go T-Mac here. Like maybe this is where the second edge comes off the board. Maybe
like
even
Jaylen.
You could Jaylen Walker. You could probably do well, the problem is with some of these ends is they had some of them have some outside issues going on, right? That's being
like Mike Green.
But like Mike Green could go this high. He's defensive 2 on most
super talented. It's more of that background,
right? But if that clears up again, right? We don't know. But like if that's not an issue, I could see them. And let's act like it's not because he hasn't been proven guilty for anything. I would say it's either Mike Green or Will Johnson. I feel like it's going to be the defense. Their defense was atrocious. We dropped 40 on them last year. That tells you how bad.
You're talking about the Michigan corner.
Yeah, Michigan corner.
I think he's sneaky good. I think he's gonna be drafted higher. He's gonna be drafted higher, I think, than what most people have him. But
who are you feeling?
I think they pulled the trigger on Mike Green potentially. I can see Jaylen Walker. I don't know why the heck he's so down.
I feel like Jaylen Walker is more of a he is young and he's that athletic freak, but he's more. I get more project out of him.
I think he's only 6'1". Is that right?
That's a good question.
Small.
He plays linebacker too, so he's not like a true D end, right? Yeah, he's not a true defensive end, so he's not going to be giant. I know that.
I think Jaylen Walker. Yeah, he's 6'1". I think he's insanely good. I really think I would go Jaylen Walker over Mike Green, but I don't really know Carolina how they fit. But I'll let you. I made a couple decisions executively on this, so I'm gonna lean with whatever you're rocking with on this.
I've seen some mocks have Jaylen Walker go this early. I've also seen Mikael Williams go this early. Man. It's tough. This part is so hard.
Come on.
Let's do
5,
you know what?
4. Got to turn the card in.
Let's do Mike Green.
Mike Green.
Mike Green's gone.
Mike Green. Brought on the draft card. We go to pick number 9, just one before Chicago, the New Orleans Saints. Sanders? I know they have Derek Carr. I know they have a couple young guys in there. But gosh, how could he? If he gets to 9 here, that's kind of some decent value.
I actually love it. I like Shedeur here.
I really do.
I know
if he gets all the way to New Orleans, I think they pull it, dude.
You got to think about your future. I think you got to think about your future. You don't even have to start. Yeah, you don't even have to start him.
I would start him. I would start him.
I don't know if they will because because Carr. Now, it doesn't mean he won't start sometime during the season. Yeah. But I don't think he'll start week 1.
I would make it a real competition, and sure, Carr probably wins it. But for sure. Yeah, I agree. Starting maybe.
I mean, he'll start some point, right? That happens all the time. But I don't think he'll start week 1. I mean, but still, that's fine. That works.
I would go. This would be if you saw Sanders and I'm the Saints. I'm like, hey, Carr's not the answer. Like he's not going to win a Super Bowl. Sanders might not either, but you never know.
Also, you own David. That's his brother. Derek Carr, so much money as well. So they're trying to get off that contract as soon as possible. But yeah, the dude's 34. Like he's not getting any younger. So I would go Shedeur, in my opinion.
I think it's huge. I think it's a big deal. All right, that leaves a lot of answers or a lot of possibilities. Because I think the best case scenario here is that no matter what, Sanders and Ward go in the top 9. In the first 9. So 2 quarterbacks in the top 9. And that leaves obviously Tyler Warren. I always talk about Will Johnson. I think you can't take him with number 10. That's just too much. You probably trade back and get him. It's probably not, I don't think it's realistic, but I just like Will Johnson a lot.
I will say this would be the worst case scenario from a fan perspective.
It's tough, man.
Because here's why. Genty's gone. All right. And that's not saying that like it was expected he was going to make it to us, but Genty's gone. Mike Green's off the board, right? A lot of people had him going to us, even though I don't think he will because of his, legal stuff he's dealing with. Both, I think it's the biggest thing. If you were going to go offensive line, both the top 2 tackles are gone, right? Membu and Will Campbell are gone. So now you're looking at, if you're starting to select a position, you're not looking at the first or second guy in that position group, right? No. If you go edge, you're looking at edge 3. If you go tackle, you're looking at tackle 3. Now, some of these positions that are left, right, that are still number ones of their class, you don't necessarily have a need for. Like, if you go T-Mac, that'd be great, but you don't need wide receiver. That's not top need. No. Tight end, that's great, but you don't need a tight end, right? Would it help? Sure. Safety, you don't necessarily need.
Hey, nice Malachi Starks.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? And I was
again, this is where you probably trade back if you can. I know a lot of people like Tyler Warren, and I do too. I know Jack hates that idea.
Let's see what the trade backs are. We have some trades on here too.
So Minnesota is offering pick 24.
Ooh, that's pretty far back.
Oh, they're not offering nothing. We would just have to
we have to select it. But
we got to put this package together. The other team is Philadelphia at 32. Okay, you could fuck off.
You can sincerely fuck off. 32 is crazy. Yeah, absolutely not. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Sorry. Okay.
I bet Philly wants to move up to pick 10 again. Sure. Yeah.
22 spots is crazy. I don't know if that happens. I don't know. Is that 22 spots in the first round?
You want to do that? You're gonna have to give me a lot.
I don't think that's ever happened, so I don't even think that's realistic. That many. So
okay, yeah, no. Let's entertain though Minnesota
24. Yeah, let's think about it.
Let's seriously entertain that before. And
in division though, so we could probably get more for the pick, the trade because it's in division.
Happens, man. And Minnesota likes to move. I mean, they traded with Detroit for TJ Hawkinson. They've made some moves within the division.
For sure.
So the offer 24, they want 10. Obviously, this is lopsided. What could it's 14.
We would have to
14 spots. I almost would do a first rounder next year. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just don't know why Minnesota is trading up like this.
Yeah, this may not be realistic. Who would they be getting at 10?
They want Tyler Warren. They have Hawkinson.
Will Johnson?
I don't think we can do that. I don't think they're a realistic team, but we can maybe force some. We can make a call here.
Wait, let me see also their team needs to see if that makes sense. So let's looking at the Vikings team needs for them. They need.
So I have on PFF
safety, back, corner,
interior defensive lineman, and a DB.
Yeah, so DB, so safety and corners, they're number one.
I can get him there.
Will Johnson would be it.
Potentially. They don't have to move up to 10 to get him.
Who's after us though? 49ers?
Yeah, they need a CB, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's it though. That would make I understand now why he said that, because the 49ers do need a cornerback, and Will Johnson, the number one corner board. So the Vikings are trying.
I don't know if I want to go that far back though. I just don't know if I want to go.
I don't either. But the question, look at the time out. Can you go back to the big board? Because we need to see like who. Like we could get Kenneth Grant later. I wouldn't be mad about that. Walter Nolan later. You know what I mean? So maybe like if we drop to 24, we can still get Kenneth Grant, which I think is DE2, defensive interior 2 in the draft.
Honestly, though, if this was draft night, I would be screaming Tyler Warren. Simple as that.
See, I wouldn't.
Take Warren.
I wouldn't.
Take Warren.
I wouldn't, because I just don't. Jack said it great with the stats, and stats don't tell everything. But like historically, first-round quarterbacks, actually first-round tight ends in the past 9 years have 0 Pro Bowls, all pro selections. 0. So like the hit rate on tight ends, and if you look at all the top tight ends in the league right now, they're all drafted like round 2 through 4.
And I will say this, Colston Loveland.
So if you're going to do it like
really good.
Maybe true. So wouldn't you want to wait back? I don't know.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying though. Tyler Warren is.
We got really screwed, man. We got really screwed with how this draft played. I know we're being realistic. You just hope it doesn't go like this, because this is worst case scenario. Not worst, because we're gonna really good player. But it's
We
like
have
if
one
you really
here.
want, you hope Will
Mhm.
Campbell slips to 10, like trade with Indy. We can take a look
I
at
wonder
it.
what do they need?
They're at
to
14.
see what.
So they need tight end.
Okay, that would make sense because we
Makes
get
sense.
tight end.
Guard,
Yeah.
edge, linebacker, safety. Let's take a look. I'm fine with that. So trade
Yeah.
14 and 10. They're not interested in trading for this pick though. We got to make it. What the? Okay, Indy. We're gonna force this trade.
Let's see.
Little
No, it
first
wouldn't be a
round.
first. Throw in like a third.
Why are we for us or for them?
No, they're trading for us. Yeah, third. So they're not
They're
interested
just not
at all.
interested.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's gonna be hard
Okay.
with the PFF simulator here.
Yeah, they don't want it at all.
So
We'd have
we
to
can't
force
trade
it.
back. We can't trade back right now. Let's just be realistic.
Fuck. This is not a good. I'm telling you, this is the worst case scenario in my opinion. Because I wouldn't mind trading back to 24 if we could get someone like a Kenneth Grant. Let's see what we can get first.
83% chance to be accepted.
Get
We
more- I
probably
think
could
we'd get
throw in
a third.
They only have that's way out there. We'll do that.
Do that
so
and then throw in
first
no, you'd have to throw in this year, throw in 187.
I was thinking 139.
I think okay, we could try it.
I bet we could. It's PFF, but
No,
we could probably get.
Someone said here though. Brandon said they only have.
Yeah, that's true. Why would they trade up for that? That's crazy. I don't know what. I say we just
unless
stay
it's
here.
to get Will Johnson.
They're not going to do it like that because Will's. I think he
so
could
either. 14 slots is a lot.
They may trade up, but they're not trading up to 10 to get Will Johnson. They may trade up to 15 if he's still there. If he slips, so let's make a decision here, Ficky. We've been going. My vote is Tyler Warren. This is how it plays out, man. You just take BPA, and this is why he's lined.
I get it.
Ryan Poles has lined us up perfectly to take BPA here.
That's how I am,
and I understand Warren Kmet. It may not be, I think it's awesome. I think it's gonna be fun. You hope it's a little bit better of an outcome here at 10 where you have a little bit more options, but this is what happens when you win a couple games.
Yeah, people were talking about if we beat the Packers, we'd be drafted.
I'll take that.
I'd take the Packer win. Doesn't matter. Yeah. But okay, look, I think there's a good point here. Warren is not going to be where's this comment at? He's not just going to be a tight end. He's more of a U tight end. He's more like a Mike Gesicki out there catching. So with Ben Johnson at the helm, this pick makes more sense.
But who would you go if not Warren? Are you going tackle here? You going?
Yeah, but that's the problem. Like these are my top 5 picks that I'd want for the Bears at some point, right? It's either Mason Graham, where you could Mason Graham falls to 6 or 7, right? Mason Graham, either of the tackles, Will Campbell or Mom Membu, Genty. This isn't any order. I'm just listing them off.
Yeah.
Genty or the edge 2. So that could be Mikael Williams. That could be Mike Green, depending on the legal stuff. But that's
with this board, though, with where this board's at, who are you?
Tyler. Yeah, he's number 1.
Tyler Warren. All right.
Yeah.
Let's just call it. We'll do Tyler Warren. Nope, and it's just going to go all the way through. We're going to get ours graded live here.
Let's see.
Oops, that play isn't in your playbook just yet. Okay, what?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. I don't even know what you're talking about, but
let's see who had other people though. I just wanted to see if you don't mind.
Tyler Warren.
Oh wow, Jahdae Brown went first. CB1.
Will Johnson going 13.
Yep. Okay. Shamar Stewart. I do not want Shamar. It seems like a project. Mikael fell all the way to 18. Kenneth Grant. Look, I said if we could get him at 24, but looks like he went 20, so that wouldn't have been the move. That trade would have sucked. I'm not getting Hampton in the first.
Let's do a quick. Okay. Let's do a quick. You want to do a quick random one? Just see.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
If something changes before we get out of here. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll be Chicago. This is going to be straight up random. So.
Oh, here, time out. This comment here from Jimmy Jam on YouTube said, you guys blew it not trying to trade up to get Graham. At 5, I think it's too expensive. I think if he falls out of 5, and we talked about it, then you make that move. But 5 picks up is going to cost a lot. Don't know if that's I don't know.
Yeah.
We could see we could see what that would cost, but I think it'd be too much.
Yeah. So let's just see where we're at here. Oh, interesting. So this is a random PFF mock. Cam Ward, Hunter, Sanders going 3. So you love that.
Genty
4. Dude. Abdul Carter slipping to 5. Will Campbell go to Las Vegas. Mason
this
Graham,
is different.
Tyler Warren, T-Mac.
T-Mac. See, this is different. If Mason Graham's at 7, I'm trading with the Jets. You only have to move up 3 spots. That's
maybe I should have made it go slower. Maybe I'll do it slower.
Do another one. Do another one. Let's do a slow one.
But where would we go here, though?
Am
I crazy? I might go Mike Green.
Yeah, I probably. Yeah.
If everything clears.
Yeah, of
this
course.
Is assuming, yeah. But Membu, he's right. He's a right tackle.
Yeah, but they kind of doubled down on the tackles. They could still draft him, but they kind of doubled down on like Poles was like, yeah, we're going to stick with Braxton Jones, like in his own GM wordsmith type of play.
I'd probably go Mike Green there, which is an A- grade here, which is
I mean his numbers
take it with a grain of salt here. So let's go slow. Let's go really fast. Let's go really damn slow. Okay. Too slow. And we'll be Chicago. Okay.
Yep.
So let's just see where they go on the clock. Oh, maybe I put too slow. Cam Ward. Oh God.
Okay.
I maybe went a little too slow.
Well, no, you're good, Abdul. You're good because you're gonna have to hit pause if we want to steal. Okay, hit pause after this one.
Okay. Okay, so let's take a look.
See what it would cost to go up to 5 to get Mason Graham.
All right, so Cam Ward, you want it Mason Graham.
I don't think he gets 10? Past 5. We'd have to give up.
Trade will not be accepted.
We'd have to give
that
up.
That would be too much.
Do 41. Honestly, they'll take
they're going to accept that. You would take that? Is that – I don't know how realistic this is, actually. 5 spots and you're giving up –
only 5 spots, just a second, a first and a second. Time out. Let's I wish I had the trade evaluation chart with the points.
That just seems like we would have to give up more.
Wait a second. I'm going to see real quick. Look at some of the other players while I look this up real quick. I want to see how much it would cost to move up 5 spots.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure this move's been done before. 10 to 5 in the first round of the NFL draft. Let's see.
I bet it takes 39.
So the 10th pick is worth 1,300 points. The 5th pick is worth 1,700 points. So we need a difference of 400 points. That's using like that trade evaluation chart they always use. So a second round pick in the mid 30s. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's 530 points. So that's almost too much.
It is. That's why that's why it's given. It's already accepted.
So we would probably do
72.
Yeah, 72.
You have a 65% chance, and maybe you give up a late. That doesn't really change.
Can you?
It changes 1%.
What was 72 at when we gave up 72? Where'd that put it?
65% chance to be accepted.
What happens if we gave up 41 but got back 70?
76% chance.
I kind of like that. We lose a second. That sucks.
That's a high second.
High. It is true. But you do get 2/3. Let's try that one first. If it doesn't work,
and then we can counter if we want to counter with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got to send it. I don't.
Yeah, I didn't send it.
5, 10, 72.
Offer trade. Okay. Okay, so they did decline. We only get 4 more.
So now
changes.
let's.
Do you want to throw in like a? Oh, that would be accepted.
No. That'd be way too much, right? Let me see.
So you want to do 41?
Wait, time on. Go to 72 again. And see what happens if we throw in anything else, like a 7th. Does it go up at all?
Well, here's a one. We give up 72, 148. That's 2 picks.
Yeah, let's do that. We still have 2 high.
And it's 75%. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
They accepted.
Boom.
So Mason
Graham. I would do that.
Yeah, I want to see how they grade it.
Okay, and let's see what the Raiders do. They win Genty. Okay, let's see what it'd be at 10. Campbell. I just want to see what happens. Yep. Membu at 8. Okay,
I bet it's Warren.
Oh, wow. Campbell, Jihad Campbell. Okay,
Warren interesting. Hasn't gone yet. Am I crazy?
He went to Cowboys. All right, we'll just let it run through. I want to see what the grades are at the end. It is interesting to see how this goes. I mean, this is how it is about the draft. I love watching each pick. It takes too long to get the picks in, but it is so fun to like.
It's a lot faster.
This is a lot faster than the real one for sure. The first round takes fucking 4 hours. So.
Oh yeah, and the NFL, it's been confirmed. They tell the teams, "Hey, wait,
especially
take this to 10. The buzzer. Take this to the
top
buzzer."
10.
Yeah.
They're like,
well, Chicago last year with Caleb Williams.
Well, even this year I heard reports already. I can't remember because we digesting so much content, but I think the GM for the Titans or something like that was saying they had to wait for their pick as well. So it's already kind of confirmed, even though everyone knows Cam Ward's going there. All right, we're almost done here. Need like some Jeopardy music or something during that.
Let's see the grade here. We'll get out of here. Oh, we got an award.
Hey, we love
Thank you, PFF.
We appreciate that.
I don't care.
Boom! Look at that.
Hey, great job. That's a good-looking draft.
Can you imagine that? You'd still have. Now you lose your third. That sucks. But you still have your 2 early seconds, and you got, in my opinion, a lot of people's big board has Mason Graham 3.
And also, there's been reports that Mason Graham or the interior defensive line is more of a focal point for the Bears than edge right now. I forgot who reported that.
Well, Ben Johnson, one of the interviews, I think during the combine, was talking about like what's the hardest position to scheme against, and he's like, "Oh, the 3 technique." There's literally like no way because of how the spacing is with the linemen. You can't. A lot of times it's one-on-one situations. You can't force help over there. Like with an edge, if an edge is doing well, you can chip with your tight end. You can chip with your running back. You can shift your offensive lineman towards that direction. A lot of times with the 3 tech, you cannot. So you end up having a lot of one-on-one matchups, and we saw how that equates to success. Look it's a Hall of Famer, but look at why can't I think of his name? Oh my gosh, Donald with the Rams, right? So I would love, if we're doing a trade up, this is the only trade up I'd want to do, in my opinion. Everything else is too juicy when it comes to like the actual trade. So live tweet. I love this.
Yep. You're going to see this. If this happens, or let's see, Bears fans, how would
you feel about this?
How would this make
you feel?
Love it. Boom. We'll get that out there. If you guys want to go comment on it, this would be a good time to do it. We're going to tweet it out on the BFR pod account, BFR_pod on X or Twitter, however you're feeling about it. We're going to throw it on there. Again, this is not we're going to have a couple more mock draft episodes, so we'll be doing this a couple more times until draft night. Again, right here, you can see it.
Well, I literally just.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
As you're trying to show something, my bad. Look at this.
It's fun. Check it out.
But yeah, appreciate it. That was fun. I did not like the first one. I'm gonna be brutally honest, but sometimes that's how the draft works. But I got my little fix from that last one, trading up there. I thought that was a pretty decent trade. PFF agreed. So I am excited about that. Let me see. Oh, what we forgot to do? We can't go a show without. Real quick, if you can get them in. If this is your first time watching, please give a hashtag new face gang in the chat. If you're an OG, a lot of you in here, please give a hashtag OG in the chat. Totally forgot to mention that during the ad reads. Try to get them in real quick. I think we have a couple of questions, so we'll try to read those off as well. But we love giving you guys your shout outs because you guys are the reason for the show. So appreciate that. We did have one question here from Mr. James. He said, "Are you giving out that dad hat for Father's Day?" About giveaways on the Patreon every month, so join the Patreon to find out. That's all I gotta say. We've given away hoodies, hats. I'll be giving away mugs now because now we have those. Shirts. We're giving away literally anything that's in our merch collection. We've had a winner every month. So if you want to win some free merch, I'll literally pay for your first month in there. Join the Patreon, the BFR Den on Patreon. And if you want to just buy merch and support us and support the show and look fly as fuck, go to the BFRstore.com. Right now, you can get exclusive gear over there. And then, of course, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so and drop those hashtags in here. I do see a couple of them came in, it looks like. Here we go. Yeah, we got Michael Berry, who's an OG of the chat, and a Patreon member said, join the Patreon. It's amazing. Appreciate that. We do have some OGs in here. So Michael Berry with the OG in the hizzy, bear down. Fuck the Packers. We agree, Michael. Thomas Whitty in here with the hashtag OG. Bear down. Appreciate that. Alex Hamilton, who's also OG and Patreon member. Hashtag OG. Would trading up 6 for Genty be a bad idea? No, but I don't think the Raiders would make that trade. Well, let me say this. I think it would cost way too much because the Raiders know, like, they need a running back. We need a running back. So the price goes up. So, like, trade for 7, much better. Trade for 6, I feel like that'd be pricey just because of the Raiders. Then we got Kyler Villagomez on here with the hashtag OG, hashtag draft. Here we come. Absolutely. So excited for it. Michael Bear here also with the fly as fuck. We love that. We got Phil in here on Twitter, normally on YouTube, but hashtag OG, BFR Rocks, and F Green Bay. Appreciate that, Phil. And then Michael here, who's in my CFB league, says also I suck at college football 25. That's okay. 26 coming out soon, so appreciate you being in there. But thank you all for hopping on. Appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't done so. On the way to 8,000. We might be there. I'm not even sure. I haven't checked, but
I think we're close.
Super close. Yeah. Really appreciate all the love and support, whether it is just through liking, subscribing, buying merch, joining the Patreon, all that. We appreciate all of it. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I tweeted out the outcome for that trade for Mason Graham. Over 8 comments now. A lot of people like it. A lot of people hate it. It's moving the needle for sure. Polarizing. So again, follow the pod, BFR_pod on all accounts. Our TikTok is growing. Check that out. Instagram, of course. And of course, follow Ficky and I and Jack on socials. You can see it on the screen. And of course, the links in the description as well. So I think that's it, Fick. Appreciate everyone who showed up. We'll be live next week again, doing some more mock drafts as well. Fick, anything else?
No, that's it. That was great. Fun.
Again, bear down. We'll see you next week.
Peace.